I often say that the laser on a defensive handgun or defensive rifle should be your tertiary aiming option. What that means is it's the third way that we're going to try to aim the gun, that we're going to try to predict where the bullet's going to go. What I mean on this rifle, though, however, by it being the third option, is very specific to the way this rifle is set up. So we're not talking about the style of shooting, whether it's just kinesthetic alignment, focusing on the red dot, or then the third option being focusing on the laser. On this particular rifle, it's also the third physical option for using any kind of optical reference. The first one is going to be the red dot. The second one is going to be the iron sights. And then the third option we have for what to focus on is also still going to be that green laser dot coming off of this Railmaster Pro from Crimson Trace. Now, what I mean by that is obviously primarily if I need to take an aimed shot, I'm going to focus on the red dot that's coming off of this optic. If the red dot breaks, if I forget to turn it on, if the battery dies, if somehow it gets knocked off of its point of aim, point of impact relationship, and I can't use it, or maybe someone's wearing a bright red shirt in bright sunlight when I need to shoot them and there's no contrast on the red dot, then my next option is to go to the iron sights. If the iron sights are on and working and there's enough contrast, that's how I'll aim the rifle. However, if both of those options go away, let's say that for some reason this mount has completely loosened up, been broken, something happens, and now I no longer have either a rear sight or a red dot, this is when I might need to use a laser. Now I say might because our overall primary defensive option, kinesthetic alignment, is still available. Now this is a 22 caliber M&P training rifle, but it'll be perfect for making this point. If I turn on this target and I were inside of my home defense situation, this is actually kind of a far distance for home defense. If I simply align the gun kinesthetically, I can still put shots into that target somewhere. But if I need to take a headshot for some reason, I don't trust my kinesthetic alignment to be able to make sure that I'm going to get a hit in the head. However, if I turn the green laser on, I can see the dot on the head, fire that shot, and know exactly where I'm going to get the hit. So that's one way that we can use a green laser. Another way that we can use a laser as an aiming option is to think about being in an unorthodox position. If for some reason I can't bring the rifle up to actually see that the gun is aligned properly, as long as I can see that green dot, I can get hits. Another situation you might be in where you can't get the gun up to your face, you can't get into your normal shooting position, might be because you're carrying something. Maybe something like a small child. Now, this isn't a small child, but it weighs as much or maybe even a little bit more than a small child. In this position, if I were cradling a small child and trying to get them away from some danger and I encountered someone that needed to be shot, it might be very difficult for me to try to get a traditional cheek weld. Well, as you can see here in this home defense situation, I can still have the gun down at my hip. I see the dot, and I can very easily get accurate fire even while holding this child or whatever else it is. And that's a great training technique also. If you do have children, you're interested in simulating that, getting a kettlebell or a bag of sand or something like that that simulates the weight of the child you may have to be carrying is a great way to train. Thinking about mounting a laser like this Railmaster Pro on your defensive rifle will give you more options for getting the hits you need to get in a worst case scenario.